Well, that's a first. It's the first I get to see that. It says user deleted in brackets, and I assume that's not their author's name. They have no author's page either, so I assume that's it's an actual user who got deleted from or deleted their stuff, everything related to them. But yeah, they wrote Irnini Mons or Irnini Mons. I have no idea how to pronounce this. This is the one that Howard did say it's a little bit packed with a lot of stuff. Even like potential like. It looks like it's just regular. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. The next one is pretty long. I'll try to stay for this one, but maybe I'll leave it in the middle of the next one. Gotcha. Yeah, like Howard said, like it's gonna be 21K reading today, so I'm not surprised if people will leave. The first one was already pretty long, so having another long one makes sense. Both are Keller too, like the fact that we have two Kellers who are extremely long, kind of funny. Both by users who don't have an office page either. One doesn't have an office page and one is deleted. So, special containment procedures: all electronic communication originating from the Divine Unity 3 space station are to be monitored for signs of influence by SB2474. Any missions in the vicinity of Venus undertaken by international space agencies, non-profit consortia, or private interplanetary firms are to be investigated for the potential of encountering SB2474, especially those likely to generate data concerning the northern hemisphere of the planet. All persons suspected of exposure to SB2474 are to be quarantined under designation A3 protocols. Contact with research subjects and personnel exposed to SB2474 is limited exclusively to the Manu 13 system. The high risk of exposure resulting from the new Shambhala colonization expedition, operators from Mobile Task Force Ro-19 Cytherians have been placed as part of the first 1,000 group of specialists tasked with establishing a full base of operations in the Venusian atmosphere. MTF Ro-19 is scheduled to conduct an exploratory mission to SB2474 upon the arrival of the expedition in March of 2153. Dispatches filed in the late 20th century by Dr. Richard Simonis, no idea, documenting SB2474 have been expunged from records of the era. And here I have a picture that says synthetic aperture radar image of Irnini Mons SB2474 obscured per A3 cognito-hazard protocols. We're technically halfway through Series 3. After Sunday next week we reached yep, exactly. Once we finish with the 2400, we have like 2499 is once we finish that, we're halfway. Crazy, eh? Crazy to think about that. Description: SB2474 is a complex artificial structure located on the summit of Irnini Mons, a shield volcano on the Ishtar Terra continent of Venus, in the appearance of an ornate geometrical pattern. While the composition of SB2474 cannot be determined at this time, observation has concluded that the material comprising SB2474 is not consistent with materials known to exist in quantity on the Venusian surface. The height of the structure making up SB2474 averages 6.8 meters, with a variance between 2.6 meters to 18.3 meters. The anomaly spans an approximate area of 30 kilometers squared, occupying the highest reaches of Irnini Mons. The description truncated for reader protection. SB2474 is a designation A3 indirect observation cognito hazard. The first known human exposed to the anomaly was Dr. Richard I'm going to say Simonis, I'm going to say that. Lead topography consultant on the Magellan observational mission of Venus, conducted by now defunct National Aeronautics and Space Administration in 1992. SCP-2474 was first documented by Dr. Simonis using synthetic aperture radar during mapping cycle 3 of Magellan's mission. Subsequent radar mapping activities examining the Venusian surface have confirmed the existence of SCP-2474. SCP-2474 exhibits pronounced neurological and psychological effects on humans observing it through indirect means, such as reading detailed accounts of the anomaly or viewing photographic records. These effects vary in form and severity, as evidenced by Incident 2474.1. SCP-2474 is believed to be inhabited by a previously undocumented species of entities. Oh, hey, I'm sorry. Listen, they're just trying to live on Venus all happily. We are intruding the private space, to be honest. The private space in space. The precise nature of these entities is unknown. Based on the records of Incident 2474.1 and subsequent events, these entities are presumed to be hostile until further notice. Record of Incident 2474.1, as well as seized archives of GOI 004B, have led to the currently prevailing theory that the structure comprising SCP-2474 of a human origin. The Clockwork Orthodox Church. The means by which SCP-2474 was constructed at least 150 years prior to viability of planetary exploration technology is unknown. That's a branch of the Broken Church. You mean this one? The Clockwork... that makes sense. Okay, gotcha. Addendum 1. Initial containment. Public knowledge of SCP-2474 prior to the Foundation containment was limited by the mistaken belief of Dr. Simonis that the Magellan mission mission operators in charge of visual data that the anomaly was a digital artifact resulting from an error in the software converting radar data to maps of the Venusian surface. This resulted in visual evidence of SCP-2474 being removed as part of the general smoothing process of graphical errors in maps of the surface of Venus. After the event of Incident 1, the personal records of Dr. Simonis were seized and reviewed by Foundation researchers. Documentation shows that Dr. Simonis continued working in the aerospace industry for several years after the discovery of SCP-2474, before abruptly resigning from the USA 88 GPS satellite launch mission staff. Personal and correspondence involving Dr. Simonis at this time documents a marked change in personality, with personnel files noting unspecific erratic behavior. This is believed to be attributable in part to SCP-2474 exposure. Public records concerning Dr. Simonis indicates that he divorced in 1995 and purchased several acres of land in rural Michigan later in the year. After the land purchase, the only documentation related to Dr. Simonis is correspondence from various publishing houses and internet-based libraries services. During these years, Dr. Simonis repeatedly attempted to publish a short story entitled The Threshold and then the 19 and On, which was uniformly rejected by all recipients. Dr. Simonis self-published this story on several occasions in several different forms of electronic media. No evidence exists that the story was read by any individual apart from Dr. Simonis. You're the only one who read your own book. That's a bit sad. That's a bit sad. Access to the threshold and access to the threshold in the 19 and On is currently exclusive to MUNU 13 per A3 protocol. Dr. Simonis was declared deceased by the State of Michigan Vital Records Office in 2037 after request by counter-level officials to discharge his estate to legal heirs. The death certificate of Dr. Simonis lists no cause of death, as no remains were ever recovered after investigation of his Schoolcraft County, Michigan residents and the vicinity. Addendum 2, Incident 1. Incident report, date 23rd November 2142, or 2142. Anomaly involved SCP-2474, casualty 6 staff. Lead researcher Seung Jarim, researcher Jens Halvorsen, researcher Anjali Manava, researcher Jacob Fenton, technician Leonard Kiprowski, technician Ishi Kimon. Property loss and A. Incident report, incident summary. Not sure why I said report there. Incident summary: researcher team analyzing imaging results from recent Harbinger 3 clandestine satellite mission in low Venus orbit encounters image of unknown presumed anomalous structure present in northern Venusian hemisphere. Approximately 3 hours after filing report to initial SCP classification, all members of research team begin exhibiting signs of distress. Lead researcher Seong becomes unresponsive to all stimuli, while researcher Fenton and technician Kiemon report visual and auditory hallucinations. Remaining team members report intense sensation of intrusive thoughts. All personnel immediately quarantined under emergency cognitive hazard response procedures. I forgot I had this song in my collection. And I also forgot that people used to do this, and now that I think about it, I miss when people used to do this. Just like throwing all the most popular songs of the year together. A response: SCP-2474 receives official classification and is listed as destination A3, cognitive hazard. Lead researcher Seong receives diagnosis of permanent vegetative state and is moved to long-term intensive care facility. Researcher Fenton and technician Kiemon receive ongoing course of sedatives and antipsychotics to control anomalous symptoms. All staff currently being evaluated for therapeutic and counseling needs upon expiry of A3 quarantine. Addendum 3, researcher log 17, staff observations. Forward, exposure to SCP-2474 is believed to have provided affected research staff with an unknown relationship to an as yet undefined race of entities believed to reside at the site of the anomaly. Sorry, quickly do this. Should have worked, right? Yeah, there we go. Attempts to ascertain the nature of these entities are ongoing. In an effort to understand more about the nature of the anomaly, interviews with the responsive staff from Incident 1 were conducted between the 8th January 2143 and the 17th March 2143 by the Manu 13 artificial intelligence system, the system having been demonstrated to be immune to the cognitive hazardous effects of SCP-2474. Many individual and group interviews were conducted in order to determine the nature of SCP-2474. The following are transcripts of those interviews that have provided significant data regarding SCP-2474. Portions of these transcripts have been altered by Manu 13 in order to remove potential cognitive hazards and have been noted. Okay, here we go. So we have interview 4 with number 1. It's going to take us a bit, but here we go. Manu 13. You described a sensation of being made to think in a way alien to your consciousness, Anjali. Would you mind describing more about these thoughts? Could you do the hologram thing? I don't like talking to an empty room. Certainly, Anjali. Manu 13 projects a holographic avatar in chair opposite researcher. Would you mind describing more about these thoughts? It wasn't neatly defined. Not like images or clear phrases or anything neat. It was all kind of muddled together, but it was like I wasn't in control of it. Does that make sense? No. Well, joking. Yes, please continue. Anyway, it would be something like a collection of sensations, or the memory of sensations, and there would be words in it. A little. Like I would be cognizant that I should be feeling an intense heat on my face, and I would be thinking of the distance between two parallel lines, and the word formu would echo around in it. Believed to be the term for form in an archaic form of the Yoruba dialect in this concept. Oh my god, I wish I studied more of the Yoruba mythology. I only know a little bit about it, like very, very tiny bit about it, like the tiniest of bits. So I would love to learn about the Yoruba myth. If I knew about Yoruba myth more, I probably would freak out right now. I'd be like, oh my god! Researching another process. It was overpowering. Nothing else could be in my head while that was happening. I didn't know to be afraid or to think that I was being violated somehow. You know what's weird? What is weird? Thinking back on it, it's not happening again when I remember it, but I feel some sort of the same things. Well, not feel, but almost feel. Like remembering something that just happened to you. That is weird. That is consistent with narratives provided by Jabowski and Halvorsen. It's becoming different now. Just talking about it. It's transcript altered from reader protection. It's frustrating. Like I'm almost remembering something, but not quite. That is weird. That is not consistent with narratives provided by Jabowski and Halvorsen. Maybe I like Manu 13 because he has some sort of like a little bit of sense of humor. But okay, that was interview 4. Now we have interview 11 with I guess Ishii 3 means that's the 3rd time that Ishii gets interviewed. So here we go. Have the images stopped? I think I'm going to sleep since I'm too sleepy to understand anything anymore. So farewell, bye bye, and the word that means the opposite of hello. Gotcha. Alright. Sleep well. I see you tomorrow. Have the images stopped? Is this how things are for something of your kind? An error of programming and you perceive differently? What do you mean? It is still there. It blends in when I stare at the wall, but when I close my eyes it becomes crystal clear. The image of the white face, you mean? The medication blurs it. It clouds my mind, but it blurs that face too. It cannot look me in the eyes anymore. A small mercy. The analytical teams tell me they don't believe it to be a face, that your mind constructs it to be a face in order to be recognizable. Damn them and damn you, I know what I see. I know the difference between things like streaks of black light that sounds like wind when I focus on them in the face. Do you want me to request an increase in sleeping medication? Your irritability is slightly above baseline. That does no good. The images are fixed in my dreams as well. What about transcript altered for reader protection? Transcript altered for reader protection. Do you think it's a separate entity, a life form, what you're seeing on these occasions? This idea of separateness, it's foreign to this thing. A smaller part of the whole, but the whole isn't in one piece. This is not like life as we know it. Some of the others have described specific emotions associated with the hallucinations. Has this changed for you? I feel hope. But it is the hope of something else. Something that is not me. I find that disturbing. You also gotta send it to her now that I think about it. There we go. Nope, not you. Her. That was Ishii number 3. Interview 20. Halvorsen Fenton 1. I don't like doing this at the same time. Being in your presence has brought a marked decrease in Jacob's symptoms. This is a potential breakthrough in understanding SCP-2474. Yeah, I get that. I still don't like it. My skin's crawling. I feel like someone's standing behind me ever since I came into this room. I have been told my presence can have that effect. No, that's different. Psychological. This feels physical. Humming undetermined tune. P bracket theta prime over gamma. P bracket theta prime over 15.838. P bracket theta prime over 15.838 to the 8th power. This is the most intelligible Jacob has been since the initial incident. This is not intelligible. That's not even math. Researcher fan continues humming in the background. That has yet to be determined. Leave the math to me, gents. Yes, you have a point there. Jacob. Jacob, it's me, gents. Do you recognize me? Finishes violently away, continues humming. P bracket theta prime over P bracket equals 3. P bracket theta prime over P brackets equals 2. Jacob hasn't attempted to flee from a non-existent stimulus for 3 consecutive hours. This is really a noteworthy departure. Puts hands over face. Oh god, it's bright all of a sudden. Hold on, he's going to say 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, that. Now it's going to be 1, 3, 1 over theta prime. 1, 4, 1, 2. 1, 3, 1 over theta prime. 1, 3, 1 over prime. Fascinating. That's not the term I would use. Okay, we have interview 28. Manava and Chabrowski and Ishii. The second. 2 interviews. Okay, second interview. You are speaking for the group again, Anjali. Yes. You're speaking for the group, Anjali, like last time. I'm going to ask you to reflect upon the influences you felt during the incident, and like last time, I am going to ask Anjali to describe the commonalities that develop as you think. What kind of voice do I give Roger Chabrowski? Raja. Yeah, Raja. 47 seconds of silence. It feels like it's about 20 minutes in the past. Does that make sense? Technician Ishii and Technician Chabrowski nod assent. But we're not waiting in the anteroom for the experiment to begin. We're doing something else. Slight pause. We're in a circle of some sort. I don't understand. It isn't our language. We're speaking something that sounds not like I knew. It is Eastern of some sort. Right. And there's a dozen of us, maybe more. I recognize us, but we're not really there. Dozen at least, maybe more. Are there any unifying concepts, commonalities? No, strangely not. Like that's the point, almost. Everyone's kind of all over the place. I feel like I'm being put into a sack. I feel that the notion of distance is ceasing to hold. The person next to me is 3 light years away. No, that is so. Something is leaving. We're leaving. We are leaving but staying. Part of us are leaving. Venus. Repeat, please. Leon. Venus. It's Venus. Distance is stretching out to Venus, and now it's snapping back. Yes, I feel like it's now the present time. Here in the room, I mean. What are your most dominant impression at this instant? Relief. Grief. Yes, that's right too. Diminishment. We have stepped away from the threshold. We have chosen to be lesser. Anjali? Yes, all of it. I long to see the machinery of the future. I'm afraid I'm afraid of the grave that it lies in. I don't want to be sealed up to die, but I'm left behind. Stifled sobs. God, it's making me cry. Technician Ishii and Technician Chabrowski not assent. That's enough now. I'm actually going to close the window again because I can feel some cold air coming in. I will open it up again once I feel a little bit too warm again, and so on and so forth. Just don't want the cold air to make me sleepy, you know? Especially if we're not really sure it's about to reach the halfway point. after Almost 2 hours and 15 minutes later, reaching the halfway point. Oh yeah. Okay, we have Fenton 5. Manual 30. Okay. Time since last dosage of therapeutic drugs is now 5 hours, 38 minutes. Are you certain you want to proceed, Jacob? Yes. I've seen it. I saw it before, but I didn't know what it was. But I'm really seeing it now. You need to take this stuff into the record. This is obviously distressing you. Doesn't matter. We need to do this now while it's still fresh. Then give me my cups full of pills again. You said you've seen it. What have you seen? The skip. I've been inside it. Security records have you accounted for in the facility for the entire duration of... No, not like that. These things, they travel. Not to places, not like that. Then you think, and then they have you. It's just like that. They're not here, not yet, but you can still go with them alone. They'll leak out around what should be. I don't understand, Jacob. Tell me about the location, transcript, all of the reader protection. What did Manava call it when we saw it? A Mandela, I think? Me, I thought it was a maze. The thing with a maze, though, is that the way in and the way out was the same while you're in them. So, SCP-2474 changes physical structure. No, you're still thinking like one of us. You have to think like them, but then you let them in. Oh man, you don't want to let them in. Never mind, don't think like them. I don't follow. There are people in there. I've seen them. Not just people, though. No, these machines. Great gleaming towers of metal with no purpose that we can figure. Chasms going deep into the ground. Wires, lights. They have shit in there that can grind thoughts. Manu, you can't grind thoughts, Manu. I don't even think they were supposed to do that. It's just a side effect. That kind of stuff happens when you force things into the states of being that they don't belong in. You can tell from the interior, steel hovering in gaseous form through the halls, electrical current made solid. Can you imagine being locked up in something like that? They are people. How's that so? Some went with them. They're not people anymore, of course. How could they be? Things didn't go as clean as expected when the 13 expelled these things. Thought without body. Sexier than you might think. Expelled. What do you mean by that? Ejected. Forced out from us long before anyone could write this stuff down. Again, thank God for that. Permanent records of these things? Fuck that. Is the physical entrance to SCP-2474, Jacob? Transcript altered for reader's protection. I hope that whoever ends up out there doesn't find it. That would seriously jeopardize any planned research missions. Good. Now we have interview 41. Seyung, Halvorsen, Manava, Fenton. It's everybody. Everybody is here. Oh, la la. Oops. Didn't mean to press that. Not sure why I pressed it to begin with. The site security officer informs me that all the systems are clear for deployment. We will now commence. 8 seconds of silence. Researcher Fenton hums in the background. Steady electronic beeps from the heart rate monitor attached to the lead. Researcher Seong's hospital bed. Yes, as we discussed, Anjali will meditate upon her experience with SCP-2474. She will call out a mantra. Respond as you will. Technician Ishii. I must ask again, are you willing to serve as the receiver for contact? Yes. Please proceed, Anjali. 3 minutes, 18 seconds of silence and background noise. Exile. Halvorsen must be the... Oh yeah, the other guy. No, I need these things. I need these beings. 1 minute, 9 seconds of silence and background noise. Exile. They're calling it New Shambhala. It was always in you. You want us. 5 minutes, 33 seconds of silence and background noises. Birth. Phantom high-pitched distress keening. Birth. Continuous high-pitched keening noise. Life. Keening stops. 2 minutes, 18 seconds of silence. That ain't life. That can't be alive. Enter. Okay. No. Other from several staff. Despite this event, EEG monitor detected no brain activity at this time. Lead researcher Seung has remained in a permanent vegetative state since this incident. But he said no. Okay. He's hungry. Okay. Enter transfer alter for reader protection. 18 minutes, 47 seconds missing for reader protection. Sorry. 18 minutes, 47 seconds missing for reader's protection. Alarm signs in the background. Please flush the evac system now. The aerosolized amnestic is approaching unsafe levels immediately. Alarm signs in the background. Tell the medics to hurry. Kiramon doesn't have long. And now maneuver 8. Here we go. That's the thing that that Howard mentioned. Why was it tied to one person? The research suggests that the entities make no differentiation between individuals. I don't know, Manu. I think it's beyond us. This is a strange sentiment for someone like you. 38 seconds of silence. We heard about the launch, Manu. Even in the sealed A3 environment, we heard about that. Yeah. About the first 1,000, humanity's greatest achievement, and that's what's waiting for them. It will be approximately 1 year before the mission reaches Venus. Command is working on containment. This is why you were all pushed so far. The data is very valuable. Poor Kiramon. 17 seconds of silence. They should let us brief them. Whom do you mean? You're even worse at bullshit than humans. I know they're sending a task force. They have to be. They should have let us talk to them. You know why that's impossible. Yeah, I know. So what? This isn't documentable. They need to feel this. Walking to something like that, they... Anjali? They're sending you, aren't they? Yes. Yeah, right. How could they not? 32 seconds of silence. Manu, I have one piece of information, I think, before we wrap this up. Please share. When Kiramon... When that thing came through the amnestics, I don't think it just disappeared back to whatever space it's inhabited. No? I think we killed it. Oh. Whatever lives in the anomaly, I don't think they understand what it means to be tied to physical space. But killing one, I think we instructed them somehow. I think we helped them understand us a little more. Perhaps understanding is a positive result. God, be careful out there, Manu. Ooh, shit. Okay, so this is the thing that accessing personal compiled by Manu 13 artificial intelligence system MTF4. God, this leads to like. Okay, this leads back. I think we should read this, to be honest. And I can see what the how it meant with like, oh, we need to be careful because it's like it can lead to like more and more. But I think the first one we definitely will read. This one I don't think we have to read. And this one neither. Yeah, no, we I think we will read this because this one looks actually interesting. M13 personal memorial log accessing personal Personnel miscellaneous memorabilia records logs compiled by Monitor 13. Artificial Intelligence System MTF-19. Only database entries. Compilation Sweep 3. Mission elapsed time 12 days. ETA Venusian Colony 350 days. Roll 19 individuals observed today. Dr. Suhas Muthu Komaran, head of the MTF, astrophysicist still associated with Indian Space Agency. He knows his stuff. I'm fairly sure he could convince you to eat your socks even if you weren't wearing any. Dr. Amanisha Kwazim, higher command officer, psychologist assigned to the expertise in psychological evaluation of non-human intelligent entities. Does anyone know what the talisman is for? Sergeant Peng Yuande, head of security detail, previously served in counterterrorism operations as platoon second in charge. I vaguely recall that he threw up on the flight in. Dr. Kurt Berkman, the team doctor of Swiss medical. Okay, here's Berkman, Berkman, Dr. Kurt Berkman, team doctor and Swiss medical researcher. His beard is the most recognizable feature, given that he's also bald. Don't mess with his stuff. I mean the plant. Dr. Sarah Whitlock, astrologist, placed in the initial colonization group as an expert on off-planet mining and mineral refining. Yeah. Sometimes I also have to think how does it sound again? Because since I speak more English, you don't really use the umlauts, right? So and u are not really used in my life as much anymore. She likes the outdoors and being outdoors. Why did she bring so many rocks? Manuel Medina Enriquez, political operative and on loan from Department of External Affairs. He has a wife and 3 children waiting for him at home. Jonathan Garima, specialist in mind affecting and psychological phenomena. I think he's the youngest member. He's 24 years old. He got really excited when he heard about 1,000 people on the shuttle. Okay, here we go. Personal item entry, 13 silver colored avian wing accessory. Property of Jonathan Garima, individual known for experimental novels and short stories, and is a rising figure in the world's literary scene. Item holds potential personal significance due to the owner long familiar background in Christian mysticism and several anomalous encounters recorded prior to recruitment. Garima noted to wear pendant frequently. It's funny because humans wear shoes on their feet. Okay. Transcript samples of record in Transport Shuttle North Conference Room discussion between MTF-19 members Dr. Suhas Muthu Kuraman and Sergeant Peng Yuante. So, you're the top dog. What's our handle? Our call sign is... It's just room secure, Sergeant. I wouldn't be asking if it weren't. We're all high profile, Sergeant. We're celebrities just for being here. Less than ideal for a clandestine mission. Lots of passengers on the ship, so yes, there will be a lot of double checking and confirmation, nothing personal. Ugh. Anyway, call sign is Cytherians. What the hell does that mean? It's an archaic term, basically means Venusians. You seem more poetic than that, Doctor. Cute, you know. I have to rack my brain over every little detail before I talk to the team about even the tiniest part of this mission. One slip up and I have to send you all back immediately afterward in an escape pod with an A3 sequestration unit waiting for all of you. Took me 3 days to prep for a 10-minute briefing with Quazim. This is what working on computer hazard is like, Sergeant. The pedal Paul plushie. Hold on. Seem to having a lot of wishes right now. Days to come. How we end the same. Size. So you forgive me. A clever call sign hasn't been my priority. I think it fits personally. A touch of the old world, the only people who remember our true history along for this ride. Where's the whole team going to meet? As soon as we can find a plausible deniability window for 7 operatives and a stowaway AI system to be in the same place without arousing suspicion. Enriquez is working on it. Now I need my socks back, please.
That's right. That's tight even for something like this.
Oh, by the way.
What are you telling me? We think we might have a company. Listen, Doctor. I'm a chain of command guy, but you already asked me to take responsibility for human lives without telling me what the threat is. You're going to need to cut the bullshit now. What does company mean? It means GOI involvement. We reviewed some files. Corporate orthodoxy. Shit. Yes. Shit. Personal item entry. 39 venerable antique dagger. Property of Sergeant Pang Yuande. Recruited from Chinese military after receiving several counterterrorism decorations. Has served on 3 previous mobile and orbital task force assignments, one with a specialization in zero-gravity combat operations. Hobbies includes practicing Sunshu in front of the mirror in quarters and writing correspondence to other members of past MDF assignments. Responses always come back to someone named Circles, which is not the individual's name. Item prominently displayed in individual quarters and believed to be at least 200 years old. According to individual's father, it's funny because Sergeant Pang has killed 7 people and never uses this weapon. Recovered very funny. Recovered memorandum from desk of Dr. Kurt Berkman. To do, take vitamins. Fridge inventory. Transfer notes from binder to field notebook. Backup digital records. Check pre-packaged first aid kits. Confirm specimen transport. Case orders and water pilates. Also, who the fuck writes like this? It's cool writing, but it also seems like it would take so much more time to just write like that. Personal item entry 33, charming specimen of Chlorophytum comosum, property of Dr. Kurt Borkman. Kurt Borkman. Individual has expressed fondness for animals arising from childhood spent on a dairy farm. Said experiences has additionally exposed him to an early familiarity with disease and illness, potentially affecting knowledge of indoor plants that promote health of animals and people. Berkman noted toward the specimen according to very tight schedule addresses as pillar. It's funny because it's actually called a spider plant or airplane plant. Transcript of the dialogue sample recorded in Transport Shuttle Primary Research Lab and Archives discussion between MDF Role 19 member Dr. Amanisa Kwazim, Dr. Kurt Borkman. Shuffling paper. You're requesting an awful lot of MDMA, Nisa. I'm not even certain the ship has that much in its stocks. Ich muss ein bisschen mein schweizerischer Akzent durch you're requesting an awful lot of MDMA, Nisa. I'm not even certain the ship has that much in stocks. We can improvise if we have to. Need I remind you that... Oh god, I'm following the different accent. Komm on, ich muss meinen schweizerischen Akzent ein bisschen behalten. Ein bisschen mehr Schweizerdeutsch reden, ein bisschen noch mehr und dann auf Englisch umschalten. I gotta switch over to English. Need I remind you that you are not a psychiatrist? Oh, Kurt. Just like that body, the mind isn't an old machine. Can you get this for me? The team needs to be familiar with how this stuff works by the time we get to the mountain. Dr. Kumaran isn't going to like it. What you're proposing, shuffles papers, is going to get everyone too close. These things, whatever they are, they're like a living psychological disorder. Do we really want to engage with something like that? I don't think it's that neat, and it's not like you can wall off the mind from its demons. Things are free-flowing, interconnected. Engagement is the only way to treat some problems, if we intend to look at the entities that way. Well, think of it of it as a contingency planning. Think of it as contingency planning. Let's say we do things Command's way. What happens if Manu's system doesn't work properly? Shouldn't we have a way to fight back if we attacked on their own home turf? You know that I respect your opinion, but I did the newest screens for Seong after what happened with 2424. He was the first to spot the thing, you got the biggest dose. These readings, I've never seen anything like it. Nisa, brain on death. Little tiny areas of neural activity flashing all over both hemispheres, but nothing resembling coherent function. Outwardly, he's a textbook PVS case, but inside, who knows? We must be bold, Kurt. We might be operating in secret, but we were part of this expedition too. Kumaran says that they would have been here even without the Foundation placing you. What are they always saying? We are beginning anew? We must avoid the mistakes of the past. I believe in that. We have to approach things differently. It's the right way. Aren't you afraid? Of course. But think of Daniel in the lion's den. I thought of that often the past few nights. I felt his terror. I don't know how it's connected yet, but I'm not driven from my path. I feel the way forward. It's going to be different than anything we can predict. I think we can agree on that much. On that much. Wait, on that much. Can you help me, Kurt? Those people, I'll see what I can do. Personal item entry 42 with polished obsidian. Property of Dr. Amanisa Qasim, individual originally from a family of farm workers living in a remote desert town, transferred to Shanghai as a teenager due to extremely high academic aptitude. Obsidian is known to have particular desirable qualities due to historical use for various tools, weapons, and decorations. Item does not appear to be a farm implement. Item also does not appear to be weapon of decoration. It is possible the object carries significance due to the severance of family ties. Item may be capable of severing physical items. Item possibly possesses personal symbolic significance and does not appear to have practical use. It's funny because it doesn't talk back to Dr. Qasim. Why did I always say it's funny because like the thing that is funny, it's not very funny to me, to be honest. But humor is subjective. Recovered memorandum from desk of Dr. Amanisa Qasim. Idea, entity, information gathered. Can't be harmed through mind wiping techniques. Downsides to attempting hostile action. People die. Elimination of viable research sampling experimentation. Non-hostile alternatives to engagement. Apply a form of altered consciousness. TM fasting saliva. Oh, is it salvia? Yes, I think that's salvia. Huh. Or is that salvia? I have no idea. Some kind of negotiation. The thing outlined in Simonis' short story. Benefits to not killing, possible coexistence, easier containment, insights into further human development. We're almost done with this. Personal item entry 18 tulip padded length of semi-transparent ribbons. Property of Manuel Medina Enriquez. Individual grew up on the streets of Mexico City as a con artist and petty criminal before entering politics. Item confirmed to be keepsake from wife. Significant because owner is a family man. It's funny because if the mission goes badly, he might never get to see his children's wedding. Recovered memorandum from desk of Manuel Medina Enriquez. Dear, I will miss you and our three treasures for every second I am away. I will not ask you for anything special in my absence because I trust you. Always have and always will trust you to keep the family smiling. I look forward to seeing those smiles when I return. My best wishes to you all, to the stars and back, MM. And then personal item entry 28 polished plagioclase feldspar group mineral fragment. Property of Dr. Sarah Whitlock. Individual owns an extensive collection of minerals collected from various exotic locations. Additionally, asteroids. Whitlock considers the item very highly, having acquired it from an unlisted shops Okay, doing a backpacking trip. Item care with owner following us. Green Beret service. Doing operations in Central Asia. Common name Labradorite. It's funny because black is an emotional color. What is up with this? Like, it's funny because, dude, get some. Okay, I will leave it at that. Transcript of dialogue sample recorded in location break room discussion between MTFO 19 member Manuel Medina, Enriquez, Jonathan Jarima, and Dr. Sarah Whitlock. So we have Whitlock first. So basically, the way the thought game works is in a round. Each person builds off the scenario the last person used in, and it just cycles. We take the last scenario somehow, someone avoid, make it happen, and then avoid a different one. Next person does the same. Sounds straightforward enough. Let me actually try to. No, I will not try. Just remember, nobody dies. You want to start off with a minor personal disaster, Arthur boy. I think I got it. God knows I've had plenty of embarrassing things happen to me. Here we go. I was walking through the mall and tripped, spilling soda over my favorite shirt. Smiles and smirks. Looks like John's the victim in this round. When you decide to drive home immediately to wash your shirt, you end up avoiding a later bout of horrendous traffic caused by a 3-car crash. When you get stuck in traffic, you decide to listen to the radio to calm your nerves. A minute in, you hear your mother's favorite song. It makes you realize you almost forgot her birthday. Well, damn. Games called You Never Know, right? So when I forget my mother's birthday, I quickly host a family dinner on the next available weekend, and then I don't get food poisoning from the leftovers in the fridge, the ones I was originally planning on eating because normal weekends are for being lazy. To be fair, food poisoning is awful. Yeah, you don't want to go through that yourself. When you get food poisoning from eating lazy leftovers, you call up a friend to keep an eye on you and your vomit. She's still hungry? God damn. Okay. Eat something big this time. Here you go. You call up a friend to keep an eye on you and vomit. Turns out that the friend was thinking of disappearing for a few days to go on a spontaneous vacation, and they borrowed something from you that they don't return until you remind them about it before you leave. Cheerful tone noted. I can relate to that. Sometimes I end up borrowing my own things. Manuel? When your friend skips town and doesn't return your stuff, you go to the house to ask for it back. They're not home, so you can check your closet for extras of that thing they borrowed. And you're digging in the closet shakes up a bunch of spiders that we're thinking of moving in. They go outside and don't make webs in your clothes. So, when spiders make webs in my clothes, I don't know if I want to throw those out or burn them instead. Maybe both. Sure, Sarah. Anyway, I dispose of the spider clothes and I go out and buy some new clothes to replace them. And that includes something for the fancy party I have to attend in a week, and I end up not embarrassing myself because I would have otherwise forgotten to get something fancy to wear. Thank you, spiders. When you embarrass yourself going to a fancy party with non-fancy enough clothes, you excuse yourself early and don't get involved in the big fight that breaks out over which wine was supposed to be served with dessert. A big fight over dessert wine? At a fancy party? What are the chances of that kind of disaster happening? Well, you never know. The conversation continues for 30 minutes and 43 seconds. The cycle ends with Whitlock describing a convoluted scenario involves a water slide, trampoline, and a goat wearing a jetpack. Whitlock has finished 3 bottles of beverage at the conclusion. Enrique's half of 1 bottle. Sharaima almost 1 bottle. Concluding notes: the first scenario may have been better solved by asking a passerby to exchange their shirt. It is assumed the passerby will not be averse to grape soda. Sharaima would have potentially acquired a valuable acquaintance who would additionally serve as a preventive measure for future shirt-related incidents. And then end of entries reached for compilation sweep 3 mission and elapsed time 13 days ETA win colony. And then as we know, it goes on here, but that's where we leave it at that. I wanted to read that because it looked interesting. Yeah,
Okay. We have reached the halfway point at the almost 3-hour mark. God damn. At least I'm still wide awake. I'm yawning a little bit, which sucks, but I'm wide awake. Whoever is living on Venus, they are they seem a little hostile. So much so that they will affect your brain. One person even got into a vegetative state. But maybe we can make a deal / compromise with them. We just need to not invade their privacy. Too much figuring this out. Okay, whoo, that was a long one. That was a big boy one, eh?